Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here at Sax as we've got our mini little IPT happening between Boland and Province this weekend, under 16s and under 18 boys and girls. Currently, you're watching on the screen Western Province B taking on the Boland under 16A side, as we see Boland attacking down the right hand baseline, and it's the ball going over the line. There should be a long corner there to Boland. But thank you for joining us. We'll have matches throughout the weekend until Sunday afternoon, when there will be under 18 matches as well. Joining me today is a man that's going to be watching these games with a fair bit of interest, the man that's been involved with coaching at the highest level for our men's and ladies national sides, and currently with the in charge of high performance for Western Province Hockey, Kurt Saffontein. Kurt, welcome.
Hi, good evening AJ, good to be here, and great to be working with you on this match.
Yeah, being part of, as we see Boland going from left to right, winning a free just inside the 25, is on your screen. You'll see Boland playing in black and Western Province playing in blue.
Yeah.
Could you watch these games with quite interest as in charge of high performance and essentially development for a lot of these players? I mean, when looking at this, what sort of things are you looking for maybe in a player, given what we've been through the last little bit? Is there anything specific, or you're just looking for players that are all-round good players?
Well, OJ, you've got to put things into perspective in terms of the amount of hockey that these kids have actually been able to play during the past 2021 season, as well as the hockey they were starved of in 2020 during 2020. And look, they've always been Western Province schoolgirls hockey, Boland high schools hockey have put high performance programs in place to develop these players technically, tactically, and I think I'm pretty much looking to observe, okay, how some of these players have progressed, even though they've had challenges with hockey being shut down for certain periods. So it's actually I think first prize is having these kids play at this level.
As we see Boland just under a lot of pressure just outside of their circle, as Boland now with the free, playing it out left as they look to try and use extra space. Boland's got the ball now on the halfway line as they drive towards the centre, but Province winning the ball and a bit of a midfield scrap, but Western Province winning a free hit and chance to relieve a little bit of pressure. I think, Kurt, just another thing, as a coach or as maybe players thinking about it, they've lost obviously vital match time. They've still been on the turf. Do we take a step back as coaches and say, what have we missed, and try and fill the gap while still trying to obviously develop at the rate that we should? Because you've got players like under 18 players that are now stepping from, some of them are going to play some of their last games this weekend, and then the next time they're going to be playing is they're going to be playing for their respective varsities. What would you say to them from between now and then on things that they need to work on? Because obviously there's a lot that they would have lost in that time.
Yeah, AJ, that's a tricky one, to be honest, because I mean, look, if we look at the timing of this event in itself, a lot of these kids, especially your matriculants, are probably going to go straight into final examinations, and I don't know how much time they would have to work on developing their skills further. But yeah, it's really important that they are given some sort of feedback in terms by their coaches, which they probably would get in terms of what they need to work on. So it is important. I think the grade 11s are extremely important that are in these teams, and the grade 10s, because they'll still be involved at this level for a while. If all goes according to plan.
Yeah, so we wish all those matrics that in the next couple of weeks they'll be. They're probably stuck in their books now before some of their matches tomorrow, but we wish them well for the exams that's coming up. We know we've got a couple of bright sparks in some of the teams, as Boland moving the ball around the back through their centre backs now to the right half, as they have a little bit of space on the right hand side, as they, unfortunately, a mistrap, and Province will have the free hit on the left hand side. But thank you again for joining us. We'll be here throughout the weekend as we have a little bit of a joint venture between Western Province boys and girls hockey and Boland hockey, as they're just putting together a tournament. There are a few matches left. I know there is another schools tournament next week, but for a lot of these players, this will be the last bit of hockey, or outdoor hockey, let's say, for the rest of the year. Some of them will move into indoor Umpire not happy with a free. It was Boland to have the ball just inside the 25 on the right hand side. Big hit comes in and finds some space just outside the circle. Is with Boland driving towards the right side T point. She's just outside the circle. She's going to try and make her way in. She's inside the circle now and fortunately lost control of the ball over the baseline there.
Yeah, AJ, so with about 6 minutes gone in this game, probably not fair to make a comparison, but the earlier game between Western Province under 16A girls and the Boland under 16B girls, fair bit of space in this game already, amount of space. Apologies. Yeah, so quite interesting. I mean, the previous goals encountered today only resulted in 2 goals being scored. So let's hope that we get a few more goals in this game.
Well, I think already from the start you can see Boland's looking to stretch the ball around the back and very happy to play down the outsides, whereas the Province side seems to be a little bit more direct currently, as we see Boland just entering inside the circle. She's got numbers inside, ball comes across and picked up by Western Province player. Boland comes in again, saved by the goalkeeper as they're trying to get the ball outside the circle, and well cleared there by Western Province as they're still going to be under pressure, putting most of their players behind the ball. As Boland starts to get a little bit more comfortable in the game as they move towards that left side T-point. Mistrap, but Western Province win it again at a chance to counter, but they lose it again as Boland with the ball just outside the circle. Movement inside the circle, ball comes in across, another save by the keepers. Chance for Province to clear their danger, but unfortunately not as far enough. Straight to a Boland player, back inside the circle, and Province player now big ball up the field, and sigh of big deep breath there by the Western Province side as they clear the danger.
Yeah, I know, bit of pressure coming in there from Boland on that provincial deep defensive zone. Eventually getting the ball clear of the river ball up the field, and really glad to see the Western Province team not really resorting to a deep press defensively on the Boland outlet. It's paid dividends as we speak. Turnover, ball in the right channel, and unfortunate not to get that crash ball across. They're having another go.
Ball inside the circle, hitting a Boland stick, just going to go over the baseline. It will be a long corner there. Yeah, you know, when we always talk about this A versus B side mentality, and I agree with you that this Province side is not sitting back and saying, well, the better team, they're the better team, they're actually taking it to this Boland side, and you can see it with a little bit of pressure that they've been put under. Unfortunately, commentators curse, ball goes over the sideline, and Boland have it, but they're definitely not playing like one so far. Very high press there you see in the corner, and Bianca van Reenen, coach of the Western Province side, is drilling that side. She won't be too happy with the ball coming out from that side all the way across to this right hand side. A good tackle there by Western Province's Boland now with the ball on the right hand side.
Yeah, AJ, I probably couldn't agree more. So yeah, this Western Province team, yeah, they wouldn't say they're punching above their weight, but they're really showing the intent early on in terms of their defensive shape on their Boland outlet. And once again, okay, ball turned over easily by Boland.
Good, we see the Province girls are very happy, a different setup. When the ball's on the sideline, the Boland has the free on the sideline, they're very happy to press quite high.
Yeah.
But the key with that is that they obviously trying to prevent the ball to go across the other side of the field.
Yeah.
But it seems like they've done it twice now, and they've let the ball go across. What are some of the things that they need to just think about when setting up like that? Because they've set up like that twice, and twice they've not had the outcome that they should have got.
AJ, to be honest, I think probably I'd get the centre forward to step slightly higher and probably discourage that switch, because I think as any sort of coach, whether you're playing with a back three or back four as an opposition coach, you're going to identify the outside half that's not more comfortable on the ball. Yeah. And I'm hoping the anchor would have taken that info in now after a couple of times that the Boland team have played the ball around the back. I think that's probably one of the first things we look at when assessing the opposition team's outlet.
And as you say, that Boland winning the ball now just inside their half and under a little bit of pressure down the outside, and Province B side putting up a big fight here. Got a couple of 5 minutes left in Chaka number 1, still 0-0 and fairly even for the time being. Both teams have had They're a fair bit of Province, maybe not all the circle entries the same as Boland, but definitely when it comes to territory, they've both moved across the field and they've had a fair bit of possession either side. If you have any comments, please drop it in in the YouTube channel. And got any comments, questions, people you're supporting? I know that there are some. Again, still, even though we're level 1, we still can't have supporters on the side of the field. But if you have any comments and questions, drop it into our YouTube channel and let us know. Also, let us know who you're supporting, where you're supporting from, and we'll happily engage with you throughout the game as Boland now with another 16. And again, we see Province stepping up really high and looking to close down either side. Fortunately, a mistrap on the side, and Province with a chance now. Quick free taken ball just outside the circle. There's a good arc, some space now down the right side. Unfortunately, a mistrap, and Boland have the chance, but they've lost it again. Province have the ball on their halfway line. Given back, and Boland with a little bit of space now. They've got about a 4v3 situation. Good ball inside the middle and just too far.
Yeah, AJ, so I think in the last couple of minutes, besides the intention from the Western Province team in terms of their press shape and their structure, they also haven't given the Boland midfielders that much time on the ball as opposed to the first 5 minutes, and they've just hurried the Boland midfielders into making decisions, and so far it's worked for this Western Province team.
Yeah, it's a good point. They always say that you win that midfield battle, you're taking a step in the right direction. Here we see, as we say that, there's a midfielder with lots of space on the ball, and Province again winning the ball in the 25, and they got a chance with a bit of a counter-attack. It's 3v3, but again broken down very nicely by Boland. Province now with a chance for the ball with 2 minutes 50 on the clock. So they will move towards, one team's going to try and take some momentum. Nice overhead into space. Unfortunately mistrap, but thought that forward could have got the ball there, but
maybe a bit of miscommunication between the right striker and the centre forward.
Yeah.
No, you go, I go, we both stay.
Yeah, there we see. I think it's that's number 13, Sienna Grazer, cutting the field there on the one side. Sometimes when they throw these overhead, sometimes they're not actually entirely sure where that ball's going, and they're umming and ahhing whether they should go for the ball or not. I did think that the centre forward could have got across to receive that ball, and as we say, that Boland with a free just outside the circle. A little bit of a mistrap, but she's won it again. She's got numbers in forward. Ball goes inside the circle. There should be a shot coming in, but stick in there from Western Province is not a clear cut, but they're really hustling hard in defence there as Western Province clears the ball over. Ball goes over the baseline. It will be a long corner to Boland.
Yeah, probably in my opinion here, the striker that received the ball inside the D, not always necessary to take your stick off the ball when you're that far in. It's just a case of stick on the ball and slinging it goalwards. Anything can happen. Rebound coming off the keeper's pads, penalty corner, or first prize is scoring a goal. And I think a lot of the younger players need to learn that more often. Not always necessary to go for that big hit when you're inside the D.
And we think also, if you look at, we've just had obviously Olympics now, and obviously all the major leagues around the world are in Europe are busy playing, and it's very, very seldom that a player will actually have a huge backswing, in that little like 5 yard, 6 yard area inside the circle. Do you think we train that enough?
No, AJ, I'm probably going to back a lot of our coaches at school and at provincial level. There's actually been a concerted effort over probably the last 24 months in terms of a lot of them doing training with their strikers in terms of, working those 9 yard area scoring skills, and something we refer to a lot in terms of backspace shooting, creating space for yourself. So no, I think and once again, like I said earlier to my fellow co-commentator, we can't coach decision making and composure.
Yeah, it's a very good point, because I know that we know that a lot of goals are scored inside that short area, whether it be deflections, whether it be just small little push-ins, so I think good that Daddy's been trained a lot more now. Gone are the days where you just take a couple of balls in top D and smash it just as it enters the circle. So as we say that, it comes down to the end of Chaka number 1. Fairly even for the time being. Maybe Boland edging it just a little bit on the possession front, and with definitely more circle entries than the province side, but it is fairly even so far. Thanks again for joining us. Myself, AJ Spearingzoek, and joined by Kurt Safontein. Be with you throughout this game, and I'll be back at just after 7 for the next game. And yeah, there'll be matches. There'll be one more match later today, just after this one, and then there'll be a whole series of matches tomorrow and on Sunday. So please don't remember to just tune in whenever the rugby's done tomorrow morning. You can tune in after that, or you can put both on at the same time. There we see Angeli de Kock marshalling her Boland on the 16A side. What type of conversations do you think is going on there, Kurt?
Well, both coaches seem to be both animated, both Ainsley and Bianca. Not too much time in 2 minutes to make too many points. I think it should be quite simple, 2-3 points. But probably both of them speaking about structural changes that they need to make, not hectic ones, just giving their players some advice. But to my mind, and with all due respect to the players and to the coaching staff, first game of the tournament for both these teams, a bit of nerves in the first chukka, and I'd like to see them settle, which has been the pattern in the previous 2 matches as well.
Yeah, it's like that first day of an IPT. You always want to try and get your groove straight away. So maybe just reminding them about the basics or reminding them about the game plan that they were. That the coach should just remind them a little bit about that. But yeah, good point. There's not much that can be said in a 2-minute period, especially when heart rates are high, when players are sweating and tired. So, but again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We've got Western Province on the screen. Currently, Western Province playing in their light blue kit and Boland playing in their traditional black. And we're about to start chukka number 2. Right, there we go. It's chukka number 2 started. Western Province with the ball playing from there. Well, if you look at it on the screen currently, they're playing towards the mountain, and Boland playing away from Table Mountain, moving the ball around the back. But Boland, you can see, putting them under a little bit more pressure, but well dealt with there by Province. Unfortunately, just mistrapped over the sideline as Boland now with a chance. It seems like the energy levels have increased quite a bit. As Boland now trying to move the ball through that right-hand space. There's not much space to work with, and she's going to look to bring another play into the game, but unfortunately runs into a whole group of Western Province players with a chance now to clear the danger out. Boland again with the ball just outside, but Western Province stick with their always getting a stick in there. It was something that did quite well in the first half. They just were always in their faces and making it very hard for the Boland players now.
Just in that first 2 minutes, the AJ in that bottom left-hand defensive corner of Western Province getting their numbers in there to assist with defense, but I think the Boland players probably should look to get the ball and switch out of that area, because after Province had turned the ball over, Boland went back in there again. Province now with an opportunity, don't strike a 1v1.
It's good receive. Yeah, good point you make there, because at the moment there's no outlet for Boland. When they're in that corner, they get stuck in the corner. Western Province comes across, defends the space, no space to work in. Then because there's no outlet, they're just going straight in. Maybe they're not looking for it. They're going straight in and they're losing the balls. Western Province now with a little bit of pressure, ball inside, and they've got some numbers forward and hitting a Boland stick. And Boland still under a little bit of pressure as Western Province win it back. Got some space to drive into and back inside in the middle and actively looking for passing options on. And Boland also putting them under a lot of pressure as ball goes inside the circle, but Boland cleared out, but only just till the 25. Ball comes inside the circle again. Western Province with a little bit of space. There's a bit of overlap on the right. It's the ball inside the circle now, and she's got numbers inside. Ball comes in, keeper makes a save, and Boland with a clear, but hasn't cleared safely and just missing the right outside post. And what a chance for Province to take a lead there after being under so much pressure in the end of the first chukker.
So AJ, once again, it comes down to that fact about composure. I just think the Boland defenders probably need to be making better decisions and be a bit calmer when they get the ball. And as I said, that the ball immediately gets down to the other end of the pitch, but there's no outcome for the Boland side.
Yeah, and that was, if I think correctly, that was only about the second or the third circle entry that the Western Province Penn side had. And you know, when you only have that few chances, you've got to have an outcome, even if it was just a penalty corner. I mean, at that point, if you go back and watch it, you'll see that the goalkeeper was actually lying on the ground at that point. So good thinking by the attacker to go high, and just missing. I for a moment actually hit it. I thought it was going in, and just missed that right side post. But a golden opportunity there for Western Province Pens to go 1-0 up, as it's still 0-0. It's still fairly tight at the moment. Is Province defending reasonably well at the back. They're holding out, and Boland maybe not as happy going in their final third as they would like to be. Maybe just engaging each player 1v1 just a little bit too much at the moment. Boland with the chances. Lots of numbers in there again from Western Province, as Kurt mentioned earlier. Win the ball. Ball just lifted dangerously there as Boland with captain Bailey Engelke on the ball. And there's we talk about that space. They've got so many players in there, and the ball just goes straight back. And same thing from Province as they push it straight back towards the Boland players. A bit of a ping pong match going on there, but the ball goes inside the circle again. It's a chance for a shot. Shot comes in and just goes wide. I think Province players were looking for some other free hit there, and they literally gave her space to take the shot. As
yeah, golden rule, AJ, play to the whistle.
Yeah, play to the whistle. I'm surprised that so many times we say it, and yet there's always a moment in the game, every now and then, where players just stop and they're hoping for the umpire to blow a whistle, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
There's lots of pressure there from Western Provinces. Umpire not happy with the tacklers. Boland now with the free hit on halfway line. She finds a left half as moving out is unfortunately mistrapped in hitting Boland players' foot to this Annika Fenta on that left hand side. She's been getting the ball quite a bit and unfortunately hasn't had many passing options going forward. Western Province with a big ball being hit, and umpire saying that that's dangerous. A free hit will be all the way back on the 25. Just inside the 25, and Boland with another opportunity, and Province getting all their numbers back, and looked like it went directly inside the circle, but umpire was happy with it. Goes over the baseline. It will be a long corner to Boland as 6 minutes have passed, so 9 to go in before the end of the first half, and still no score. Boland now with the chance. Big ball comes inside the circle, and well trapped by Western Province as they calmly try and get the ball back out. Lots of pressure from Boland, but Western Province still have the ball. As you talk about stick on the ball, and I look at that occasion there. Nice ball comes inside, and unfortunately a mistrap, and another chance there for Western Province. We talk about keeping the stick on the ball, and there's another example, and it's not, people might think, well, it's only appropriate inside the circle, but that's a good example of a player that took their stick off the ball, and Boland player just came in to try and win it. It's something that gets used throughout the field.
Yeah, so AJ, I'm glad you mentioned that point, because I mean I know that especially from the national men's coaching environment, one of the first things that Gareth Ewing wanted to improve when he was appointed in the position 2 years ago was the ability of South African players to hold possession for longer, and it was all about ball protection. So there's perfect case in point there, and it's something that we need to pay a lot more attention to.
Yeah, it's a good point. We'll get back to the South African men's side a little bit later, because obviously there's lots to talk about there. As Boland now with the chance, they're going down that left hand side T-point, and umpire giving an obstruction, I think, down that side, and it will be a free hit there to Province. You mentioned that quite well, and I think I mean, with your experience being involved with both the men's and the ladies' national side in the past and being at all the major tournaments, that was one of the things that we lacked as a country. And I say we because obviously it's filtering down to all the age groups. We lacked that ability to be able to hold the ball for long periods, even against the stronger nations. And now we've seen the outcome of Gareth Ewing's decision at the Olympics, because it's by far one of our better Olympics that we've had. Maybe we'll still be very disappointed by the Netherlands game. Even, I mean, I don't care who you play against. When you're 3-0 up, you'll be very disappointed to lose a game like that. But it's definitely that case in point is definitely something that has improved a serious amount in the men's side. And like you say, it needs to filter now all the way through, so that when Gareth gets the next crop of, let's say hypothetically, under 18s in the next couple of years, that it's not something that he has to worry about too much, because we've been looking after it. Boland now with a penalty corner, ball comes in, double castle, but they switch back to one, and just a little bit of a mistrap on top. There's a chance, shot comes in, keeper makes a save, and Province just clear the danger, and they've got some numbers forward now. Boland have only one defender. That's a little bit of a harsh tackle there. Yeah, umpire blows it the opposite way, and Boland with a chance. Game just seems to have lightened up just a little bit. Captain of Boland comes in, great save by Western Province keeper. Another shot comes in, but stick in the wave there from Western Province, and they're just fighting so hard in that space. Another ball comes in, and keeper makes another save as Province can't seem to get this ball cleared out. As Boland with a chance, stick comes off the ball again, and Boland clears it, Province clears it, hits a Boland foot, and just a moment of panic from both teams there as Boland tried to. Western Province had an opportunity to counter-attack with that. Only had two defenders to beat at that point, and now they've got a chance just to calm things down a little bit. I think there are some players that are going to be a little bit tired going into half-time with about 5 minutes, 17 seconds left. Boland on the ball, the umpire's asking for the free to be taken. Yep, just taken just outside the 5-yard area. Everybody's got to be 5 in that area.
I'm probably just a bit disappointed in the decision on the outlet there by Western Province. First chucker, they were moving the ball around nicely, looking to go too direct off the free hit on the outlet there.
Yeah, they were using their midfield quite a bit, and just bouncing the ball into midfield and then going outside. And yeah, they just seem to. It's just a little bit of, they're under a little bit of pressure. Let's try and clear the ball. I think they're getting into that habit, and they'll just need to switch back to the way they played in that first bit of that first chucker and just move the ball around. So there she's found a midfield play, but lots of pressure there from, I think that's from the Boland captain. I think that's Bailey Engelke. She's still on the ball here. She drives down the left hand side. She didn't actually have much of the ball in the first half, and now we can see there's a lot more impetus from the Boland side with her getting the ball in midfield. They closed her down quite a bit, but she seems to be moving around and finding the ball in better spaces now.
Yeah, definitely seeing a lot more of her on the ball. She is quite a talented, influential player in this group, and it'll be interesting to see how things develop as the game progresses further. I think the Western Province team probably just need to keep on doing what they were doing and not panic.
Western Province now have the ball, and again they're relying a lot on their counter-attack opportunities, and they haven't had that many in this. Although they did have one shot early on in the chucker, and they'll be disappointed. But they've won the ball now. They have a little bit of space, but unfortunately losing the ball again and in the back of Penn's stick as Boland now with a bit of space down the right hand side. As Western Province, Penn's just chasing the ball a little bit as Boland now with chance down the right hand side, and it's a bit of a mistrap, and they had some numbers forward. There was a good opportunity to go inside and then back down to the baseline. As Western Province taking the free hit quite quickly, and I think they've got to identify that they need to. Umpire not happy. I think it's a green card to one of the Boland players. Will get a number shortly. There was a bit of confusion on the sideline, but I think it was given to think that Jeray Blommetjies from Boland that got it. I don't think she was 5 at the free. But at the same time, Western Province were making a substitution and they thought it was the Western Province player. So Jeray, I think, I apologies if I'm saying this incorrectly, but I think it is Jeray Blommetjies from Boland. Later named from Boland has got a green card, so she'll be off for 2 minutes as Province will now try and take advantage of that numbers down. They don't have many numbers forward, but they've got some space down the right hand side and they're going to look. Want a good free hit there on the right, and umpire playing advantage. Got an opportunity there. She doesn't have many passing options.
That's Kira Volkvein on the ball. Generally quite a bit of speed when she's in movement with the ball. On the feet for the second time now. And Province in a favourable position. Kira still playing it.
All the Pens players shouting, get a short corner, get a short corner. As they, unfortunately, Western Province were winning that back, but it's gone over the sideline Boland winning the back, and now it's gone over the sideline for Western Province with a free, getting a touch and chance there for Sienna Grazer. She's always been in an open space to try and win the ball, and unfortunately just mistrapped it as the sideline hit. I'm reading some of the comments on YouTube. Yvette Oliphant saying go VP. Matt Art saying go Jade Regnart. Love from brother and sister in Joburg. So thanks for watching from Johannesburg. Maxine Regnart saying go JD Champ. Love from Johannesburg. So thank you very much and appreciate the comments on our YouTube channel, and feel free to comment more. Ask us any questions about any of the games that are happening. And I've got a man sitting next to me that's coached at basically all the big international tournaments that a South African team would have been at, and wealth of knowledge sitting right next to me. So if you've got any questions from him, you can throw that our way and we'll answer it throughout the game. It's still a great battle here between the Western Province Pens and Boland A. It's got a couple of seconds before the end of the half. Boland definitely had a lot more of the possession in chukka number 2. As I think the final whistle went, and umpires I don't think have heard it, as the ball carries on. And Boland going inside the circle, and it's a good strong challenge there by Western Province Pens. As they're still carrying on playing, and I'm not entirely sure, but we did hear a whistle from the sideline, but play continues. That's fine, we'll get an extra minute or 2 of hockey. And yeah, there we go, that's the whistle. It's half time here, it's still 0-0, very tight affair. Although we will say Boland's had a bit more opportunities than the Province side, but the Province side have not been sitting sitting in their shell. They've actually been taking the game to the Boland side quite nicely, and it's a really nice game. And Rushan Slamang Abrams, all the best VP Pens. Shout out to Kira Volkvein. So thank you very much, Kira, number 8 for Western Province and the 16B side. So thank you very much for joining us. Again, this is halftime here between the Western Province Pens and the Boland A side. Boland's A side playing in black, and the Western Province Pens playing in their usual home kit, as you can call it, in sky blue. I'm joined by Kurt Safontaine. My name's AJ Spruenzuk, and thank you very much for joining us. It is getting a little bit chilly here as the sun sets in Cape Town. Half-time here is 0-0. It's an interesting 2 different conversations that possibly could be happening. I think there could be maybe a touch of frustration in the Boland side because they've had so many opportunities. And then if you look at the Province side, they'll be very happy with the way they've defended, but also maybe just a little bit disappointed that there are 1 or 2 opportunities that they could have taken to go 1 or 2-0 up here.
No, for sure, AJ. I think on the Boland side, what Ainsley should probably be speaking to her players about is being composed when they are, presented with those scoring opportunities. And let's take nothing away from the Western Province goalkeeper, who made some brilliant interventions, during that second chukka. I do think that from my side, once again, the Boland team who probably were a bit more comfortable on the ball in the second chukka. They started threading passes together, their connectivity was better, but they probably need to transfer the ball from channel 1 to channel 2 to channel 3 a lot quicker. Don't see that going in terms of their transfers. On the Province side, Bianca would be reasonably happy with the group, but it's there was a bit more pressure exerted from Boland, and Province just have to persevere. Maybe look at not committing too many numbers, getting the balance right in terms of offense and attack. And like you said, AJ, Province more likely dependent on counters from an offensive perspective.
Yeah, good point there. I mean, it's Ainsley obviously demands a lot, as both coaches do demand a lot from their team. So she'll probably want a little bit. I don't know if you mentioned, they've heard correctly, execution is probably the like you say. It's, I mean, and we use that word quite a lot, but it's execution everywhere. It's not execution just a shot on target or getting an outcome. It's execution in the way you move the ball around the back, the way you receive the ball, those type of things. So I think, and like you say, it's those type of things that the players have to think about. But again, you mentioned earlier, first game of a tournament, there's nerves. Some of these girls, if we look at under 16, some of these girls are actually playing provincial for the first time, which is a very exciting but also very nerve-wracking thing for some of them. I mean, we most likely in not necessarily in the Boland A side you will, but Pens, there'll be a lot of under 15s in that side potentially. And so there is that dynamic, but like we say, it's so exciting that they are playing here, they're getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, not going to be playing against other provinces like they usually do, but we're salvaging something, and they're getting some sort of hockey throughout this weekend, which is really good.
Yeah, AJ, so just interesting from yourself. I've always thought of as the under 16 category as that that phase where there's a lot of scope for development, because you'll find a couple of 15-year-olds / grade 9s playing in there. Exciting age group to play in, I think. Always be my opinion.
Yeah,
not really the seniors as the under 18s would be, or the under 14s of the youngsters. But always a lot of spirit, and it's just, once again, like I said earlier on, it's just a great opportunity for these kids to measure themselves against one another. Albeit that the other provinces can't be involved, and we're going with the regional model. Yeah.
Now, good to be back again. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you very much for joining us. My name's AJ Speringzoek, and I'm joined by Kurt Serfontein as we bring you this under 16 game between Western Province Pens and Boland A. Currently 0-0. Quite interestingly, that is 0. Like we expected goals from both sides, but it's been quite a really, really good game. Both teams have got a little bit better throughout the game and got a little bit more comfortable, and the lights are on now. I only see one side of the field's lights, so they all go on the one side first, and then the other side goes on. But lights are on, and it's always nice on a Friday evening to play some hockey. So as we see, as Western Province Pens up the left-hand channel, they've got a little bit of numbers forward, and fortunately she couldn't find a Pens player up front, as Boland now transfer the ball to the left-hand side and couldn't find a player. So Province Pens with the ball on the sideline, free it. Again, it's all about who starts comfortably here, who starts by just moving the ball around and get a few more touches. Ball goes over the sideline yet again as Pens now with the chance. Boland don't seem to be pressing too high. They almost like want to arrive the ball. I think it's Kiara Williams on the ball, playing it out left. There's quite a bit of space there, but they just got to be, again, like you said, patient, find that pass. They've found a forward up front, and it's going to look for another passing option. Well, good option now on the left, and good pass inside the circle. There's going to be a tomahawk shot comes in, and fortunately hitting the back of the stick, and Boland now with a chance. First circle entry there goes to the Province Pen side, and a good start for them.
Western Province probing down the left again. Another circle entry, shot, goalkeeper intervention. Oh, very well defended, ball stolen.
Bit of a slide there. Pens now with another opportunity by Pens. They seem very comfortable as they move. Boland not putting as much pressure in midfield as they usually do. This ball lifted, and umpire's happy to play on. Boland with a chance. They don't have many numbers forward, but Pens seem to be getting players in. It's not just about getting numbers back, but it's also getting numbers back in the right areas of the field. I think that's also something that Pens have somehow done really well. They've got numbers back. They've been very good in defense here, and I think they'll also start getting a little bit disappointed with the chances that they've had. Have the Pens had to go up and well defended there by.
Yeah, interestingly, one Boland player isolated by 5 Pens players there. And yeah, you say irrespective, your teammates off the ball need to be moving into better positions to support you.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Boland now with a chance down their left hand side T-point. They missed trap, but a chance there and another chance. So, I mean, you see Annika Venter driving down the left. I know that she had a little bit of space. Do you know, maybe in some of those situations as a forward, just take the player on and just see what type of outcome you can get there?
AJ, I don't want to be super critical, but Annika should probably move the ball onto a strong side because there was no pressure on her. She could have gotten her feet around the ball. It would have allowed her to make probably a better decision in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, opportunity there, and you know we talk about these things, but that's the level that we're getting to now. We're not just talking about the basic errors that players are making or things that we want them to do better. We're talking about small little things like this, where, I mean, we go back to the men's side at the Olympics. Those forwards were so keen to take on defenders, no matter who they were, Arthur Van Duren or whatever. They would take those players on just because they knew that they had something in their mind of the way that they were going to beat the player, and then obviously knowing that the player was going to be under lots of pressure inside their circle. And I mean, we got, if you look at the national side, we got a lot of outcomes from that. So I think it's something that definitely Ainsley would have been working on with her strikers as Western Province now with another opportunity. Balls inside the circle and just good space found, but fortunately hitting the foot. But that was Sienna Grazer again. Pull the ball to the one side. Not Sienna Grazer, I think that's Maria Ings that had the ball. She knew exactly where she wanted to be and she found the space. Again, Annika Venter with a little tomahawk slide to another forward down towards baseline. Unfortunately, couldn't find her. Definitely most of the territory at the moment and circle entries are to Pens currently and Pens looking really nice, moving the ball well. Lots of space inside middle there. She's going to have to look for a pass and finds a pass, but unfortunately mistrapped, and Boland win it deep inside their half, but a little bit of pressure, and she's won free just outside the 25. Boland with a chance now seem a bit frazzled at the moment, seem a little bit doing a few things that we haven't seen them do this whole game. Big ball comes in, and unfortunately straight to a Boland player, as Boland with a chance now to try and clear some danger, and see Bailey Engelke back on the field, and straight away they're trying to find her as soon as possible. It's well trapped there by Pens have won the ball, but again giving the ball away as. So it's one team that you don't really want to give the ball away much is to give it away to a Boland side like this. Is the driving side inside the 25, inside the circle. Lots of province players or Pens players back. As we had, I think that was Grace Prince with a big strong drive through midfield there. As we see the Boland players on the side. So they now have a long corner on Boland on their right hand side of the field. Here we see a drive inside the circle, and still lots of pressure from Western Province. You know, they're just getting stuck in there. Unfortunately, getting caught by running the ball out of the back. And now with a chance just outside the circle. Ball's got to move 5 as Captain Bailey Engelke on the ball. Currently still lots of province players, Pens players around, and got their stick in. They're moving down that right-hand base, and ball comes inside the circle. It hits a Penn's player's stick and then rolls onto a foot. And unfortunately, all that defensive work that they've done is now gone to a penalty corner.
Yeah, so second penalty corner of the match being awarded to the Boland A side. Very well worked. Province trying to be patient, but eventually, fortunately, getting a foot in there.
Yeah, Boland now with only the second penalty corner of this game, and it's both been to Boland. So they're going with a double castle, and we'll see which side they'll go with. Push out goes, and they're going for a little. I think it's just again execution, just to the right hand side of the stopper, so they couldn't execute the penalty corner that they wanted to with a.
Actually, the second penalty corner in a row where the injection wasn't accurate. Trapper had to get up and shift. So probably not the best execution.
Something they definitely want to get right, especially in games like this when it's so tight. The opportunities, there have been a fair bit, but in a tight game like this when it's 0-0, you've got to take your opportunities in these situations. Is maybe something that they'll want to think about and try and get right before their next game. There's a chance here with that's Sienna Grazer. She put a lot of pressure on the defenders early. Unfortunately, she just mistrapped the ball, and I think we would have had another golden opportunity there. Annika Venter from Boland now on the ball on the left hand side as she looks to find a ball. The ball goes inside the circle and hits her. What's her name? Goes through, but unfortunately, Kira Lee Abrams on the far post couldn't get the ball in, and it's another chance that they'll be gone begging for Boland, and it's been definitely in this quarter been fairly even on chances for both sides. There's a miss pass comes in, and Boland now with a chance. Good challenge. I think that was Sarah Majid. Good challenge there, and Boland now winning the ball. Zara Lee Oliphant that was at the back. Two good challenges there. She cleared the ball. So we're back into it again as Boland now with a big ball inside the circle. Unfortunately, there was nobody really there running onto it. As it's touched the end of a pen stick, and she's tried to keep the ball in, and she has. And Boland now with the ball on the left half as just engaged the play, and you see Lisa Penny just picked the ball up and made a pass. And unfortunately, with a free hit, the umpire not happy with the free hit has been taken. As Boland now with the ball in midfield, getting their numbers forward. It's a nice ball towards the right hand side there. With Pens now with the ball deep inside their left half, and I think the ball's just gone out as Pens will now have a free hit. I think that's Kiara Williams on the ball. Apologies, Kiara Williams is actually injured at the moment. I have unfortunately an old match sheet, team sheet with me. Apologies for that. Kiara Williams is unfortunately injured currently. Just Boland now with the ball down the left hand side under a lot of pressure. As Boland still have the ball and looking for a little mini game in that space. Two good challenges there by Western Province, but hitting a foot, and Boland had the ball deep inside the left half. Pens all their numbers behind the ball is doing a lot of work in defense, trying to get in their faces, and good work. And there we see with a chance now. It's unfortunately their Pens, Maria Ings couldn't get the ball under control.
Good interception by Kira Falkveen, who's actually playing as a right defender right now, normally an offensive player. Pens building out the right hand side and soaked up a bit of pressure, and Kira Falkveen on the ball. Quite a lucky ball there, to be honest. Lucky pass, I should say.
Yeah, we got Boland now 2.5 minutes left on the clock as Boland have a free. Umpire not happy with where the free hit is being taken. So yeah, Province Pen side rolling the changes there as they still look to, although probably not the right time to make some changes now, some numbers back. So 2 minutes here in Chaka number 3, still 0-0 here between Western Province Pens playing in the sky blue from left to right on your screen, and then Boland playing in their black from right to left. Boland 16 ace. A big ball comes inside the circle again. At the end of, or seems every ball that's gone inside that circle, there's been a Pens player on the end of it. As Boland now you see starting to put a little bit more pressure on the Pens defense. Pens do have an outlet here towards the right hand side, and it's a nice overhead, and unfortunately not finding. I think that's hit a Pens foot here, unfortunately.
So Pens obviously trying to bypass the midfield press from the Boland side, looking to go the aerial route. Just didn't work out that time.
I think also maybe they've got the Pen side have just maybe got to get one midfield in that space there, because I think at the moment all of them are standing behind the defenders, where they could maybe just get one just standing in front of the defenders, just all bounce passes. Bailey Ingeke running in towards the circle is again Pens players getting their sticks in and making it very, very difficult for the Boland side as Boland seek to try and get back inside the circle as they are troughing the ball all the way to the back. As Boland on that right hand side now with opportunity, but again good work by Pens as they just run back and hold those spaces. Province now getting the ball out and unfortunately couldn't clear it. It's back to their Boland centre backers. They just can't seem to get the ball out, and always getting to a Boland player and hitting the footers. There's a free hit given to but again I think there was a bit of confusion. There's no real siren like we usually have at a tournament from the side where you can hear when it's end of the third chukka, but that is the end of the third chukka as it is still 0-0 here between the Western Province Pen side and Boland A. And thanks all for joining us and for watching today. And there's a lot of people watching, and thanks for being here. And as we have a little bit of a mini IPT this weekend, between a little regional tournament between all the Western Province and Boland sides in the girls and the guys section. We have the Western Province Pens boys playing the Boland A boys after this. There's still another fascinating 15 minutes to go, as this has been a very even third chukka, besides maybe the last couple of minutes have gone towards the Boland side, but a very even of the three chukkas, as both teams trying to find that first goal. Can't seem to find it. Keepers on both sides have been very good, but also defenses on both sides have been really good. If you have any messages or comments about the game, let us know. Engage with us on our YouTube channel. We'll be happy to chat to you and chat about the game happening currently. And thanks all. There's a lot of comments, and I'll go through some of them. Ewan Abrams saying rooting for Boland, go girls. Shout out to Kira Lee Abrams, Kiki. Kai Grazer saying go Sienna Grazer, so proud of you, from your father in Namibia. So thank you very much for the support from Namibia. Go Boland. Go Rory Madison Cornelius. So thank you very much, Angus Cornelius, for that comment. And Brand saying Jade Regnard, the goalkeeper of Western Province, making 3 good saves in the second chukka. She's had a good game so far. She's made some solid saves, and she makes it somehow. We sometimes think that those saves look simple, but she's just made it look good by a good technique. So very much there. Ewan Abrams say go Rory, keep it up. Merp saying go Ben, and Aaron Abram saying last chucker, go Kiki, Rory and Jore. Boland can do this. So thank you all for your comments. We really appreciate it as we bringing you the last chucker now between Western Province Pens and Boland A. Again, my name's AJ Springzak. I'm joined by Kurt Sefontaine. We bring in the last 15 minutes. Kurt, what do the teams got to do differently here, do you think, to try and get it? Do you stick and hope for the best? Do you make as a coach, do you make a drastic change? What's got to happen here for the game to try and get that winning goal?
Well, I'd still like to see the Boland side transfer the ball a lot quicker. They just need to move the ball a lot quicker when they're in position to make those connections. If anything, the Western Province side would probably still be backing themselves to score the counter. And as I say, that Boland move the ball, let's change channels. Bit of a heavily weighted pass there.
Expecting a lot from a teammate to trap that one in the corner. So again, Boland playing with a high press and good ball into midfield, and she's just got to get it under control. And unfortunately she didn't. It was a good pass. She found some space there. It's Province with the opportunity at the moment. Is it Venus Peterson on the ball, and she's found a strike up front. And another miss trap, and Boland deep inside their own half. Is again still some more pressure from Western Province. They're happy to put them under pressure in that corner. Boland with the chances. The players now, the legs are just going to start getting tired. The decision making is going to have to be really good as we start winding down the clock towards the end of the first game between these two teams. And no doubt there'll be a lot to take away to the two games that they'll be playing tomorrow. As Boland now with a nice little move down the left hand side. Unfortunately, again, just a little bit past the stick. The hockey carries on tomorrow here from Sax and from the under 18s playing at Bishops, and the under 16s will end off tomorrow playing here at Sax. So it will be really interesting too. Each team will have two more games tomorrow. Umpire happy that it's not dangerous as Boland pick up the ball and got space on, looking for space down the right hand side. You were talking about moving the ball quicker. Again, still not doing it as effectively, and they can put Western Province Pens under a lot of pressure by moving that ball across the channels quicker. Again, stuck on this left hand side, all the Western Province players on the side, a little bit of space, but unfortunately straight to a stick there as Amy Gordon wins the ball, and she's going to look for attackers up front, hitting the Boland foot as Pens will now want to, this is where experience comes in as well. You've been defending most of the game, and you want to hold the ball as much as possible, or just take your time on free hits as much as possible.
Yeah, so AJ, I'll throw a question to you. So, who's got the experience here? They haven't played the RPD.
That's a good point. I'm just sorry, my coaching brain is coming in here, and good point you make there. And that's why I think these opportunities are so cool, because that's where coaches and players will learn. I mean, the nice thing about this, they're going to learn something about this situation. We don't know how the next 13 or 11 minutes is going to turn out. Yeah. But there will be some learnings from how you manage the end of a game, how you manage situations towards the end. As Bailingeke down the left hand side, just made a pass inside the circle. Unfortunately, no stick on the end of that. Is another chance there as the ball goes across. These type of situations where it's 0-0, it's really tight. There's a couple of minutes left. You don't want to make a mistake because you're worried your mistakes might lead to a goal for you. You don't want to take risks. So I think this is nice that they're in these situations, and that their coaches can at least guide them as to what they can do. And let's be honest, there's not many situations in practice that you can actually create these situations. It's only really match situations where you can actually learn these things. So it'll be very good to see how teams come from this and how they learn from this. But still 10 minutes and about 40 seconds left. Anyone's game at the moment. Some moment of brilliance, you reckon, is probably going to come out to try and win this one. As again, Pens with the ball, they're going to look for an opportunity. One thing that I think Boland, just from their side, is that they mustn't be get carried away with going up forward so much. The ball comes in, but Western Province player clears it out and it's still cleared out to a Boland player. I think one of the potential dangers that could happen is Western Province, Boland has had obviously a lot of the possession now in this chukka towards the back end of the last chukka, and they're pushing a lot of their players forward, which does open, and we do know that the Penn side counterattacks really well, so that does open that opportunity for the Western Province Penn side. It's just something Boland have got to keep in the back of their mind. They don't want to be on the attack for 80% of this game, and then there's that one small opportunity that Pens get in that counter-attack and score. So I think that's something that they need to be aware of. And then I also think that Pens also need to be in that situation where they know they've been defending so much that they somehow forget that they actually got to get the ball on the opposite side of the field to try and get that winner. So lots to think about. It's a wonderful challenge comes in there. I think that
as we speak, there is an opportunity, and probably should have passed the ball to the right as they had a player ahead in the right hand channel, but easier said than done sometimes.
I thought that looked like it hit a Boland stick at halfway line, and you normally take the behavior of the players and it looks like they think it's a 60 minute. It looked like it almost hit a Boland stick there before it went over the baseline, but nonetheless it is a penalty. It is a free to Boland, and they've thrown it overhead and seems to almost.
Zara Olifant doing well, nice and composed on the ball. She gets it out with pressure on her.
So Lisa Penny on the ball is fortunately running into a few Boland players and dispossessed. Is looking for the right striker, and it hits a pen stick and goes over the sideline as we've got 8.5 minutes left. As Boland now have a long corner. Lil de Kock saying go Boland, and Angus Cornelius saying you can do it Boland. Penalty corner there to Boland. There's another chance now to see if they can get onto the score sheet. It's quite weird that it is still 0-0 in this game. And
let's give credit to both teams for the way they've defended. I don't think
done very well on both teams.
Don't want to choose a winner right now with 7 minutes to go. Breaking odds. Just check the execution of the injection this time.
Flick comes in, and I think it hit the stick. It hit a I think they were complaining about ball hitting. I think it hit a body there, but it's still penalty corner. The shot was on target, it was outside, it wasn't dangerous. It was a nice flick coming in, but this did seem like keeper Jade Regnard had the ball covered, so we see what variation Boland will come up with now. This push comes out, straight it comes in, good save. As there's a chance now as Province have got numbers forward, but unfortunately they could not get the pass out there. Massive numbers going forward, and Pens now. Yeah, I must agree with you, Kurt. Kent, sorry, I was chatting to a friend of mine, Kent, earlier. Kurt, I think for the neutrals like us, I think it's very difficult to see a goal now. I think, but there are definitely Boland and Western Province supporters out there. They'll be rooting for their teams. But no doubt, irrespective, I think what happens, this has been a very, very good game by both teams. I think their first taste of provincial hockey, and I think they must be very excited and they can be very proud of the effort that they've put in. As both teams look for something, ball comes inside the circle and hit a Boland stick, and it's gone over the baseline. As Pens will have an opportunity now to have a 16.
Yeah, so really good defensive intervention there at the end. Zara Olifant and Kira Volkwein not allowing the Boland player in the 9-yard to get the ball quite comfortably. And pressure coming in from Boland again. Somehow the Province get it away.
It's just a few comments from YouTube. Ali Meredith saying let's go Moo, and another save from Jade Regnard. Yep, Jade Regnard's had a couple of good saves, solid saves today. Jade Regnard goated from Merck, and umpires given a penalty corner there is another opportunity now for Boland.
Yeah, AJ, don't jinx the keeper, please. Come on.
No, I'm just reading the comments. I'm just staying as neutral as possible. I'm just reading the comments.
Okay, Boland's 5th penalty corner in this match. Execution on the previous one wasn't good.
There is an opportunity here. If double castle again, they have a flick. Looks to see if they will go. No, they're going for a slip and ball goes in. But again, Province pen sticks or just seem to be everywhere at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, just seem to be covering their spaces really well.
Once again, Zara Olifant in there, getting stuck in as the post player, stepping off to make the intervention. Vital. Jade again, repelling the Boland striker.
Well defended there by Province as the ball still goes in, and Pens now just seem to be holding on at the moment. They still 4 minutes to go. No doubt that if they get a chance, they will be sending their fast forwards up the field. But at the moment, they're just trying to hold their shape at the moment, trying to defend because it's Boland onslaught at the moment. As ball comes inside the circle, and it's a Boland foot. I think Pens again just would like to have a sigh of relief, and she's going to look for an opportunity. Ball goes out wide, but again, good pressure there from Boland to free it from their left-hand channel. Got 3.5 minutes to go. Look for space on the outside. And goes over the baseline. As Pens now with another chance. Try and just clear some danger. As they've just been defending for the majority of half. Unfortunately, mistrapped. Boland with some spaces, stick challenge outside. The tomahawk shot comes in, and unfortunately, I think that was Kristen Germesays that has just missed the ball. A big tomahawk shot coming in, but unfortunately mistrapped. Didn't hit the ball. Unfortunately, hit a player dangerously blown up by the umpire. Good space found in the middle, but unfortunately, no passing option. Is Pens with a little bit of now cleared with a little bit of space down the right hand side. Now there's an opportunity here as there's numbers up front, and I think that's hit a Boland footers. Pens will be working hard now to try and get forward, but a couple of players walking on the field, so I think they weren't too interested in getting forward as quickly as possible. Big ball coming inside, and Province now with an opportunity on inside the 25. They've got numbers inside the circle. Ball comes in. There will be opportunity down. Ball comes in again from the side. And Pens clear the danger as they have now numbers forward, and they see how they can counter. As Pens seem to be driving numbers back as Boland with lots of pace going forward, and there's opportunity for us. Unfortunately, she kicks the ball, and Pens now with a chance just to the. If I can see correctly, it's 1:42 on the clock. As both teams chasing the game really, really hard. Paige Thomas saying, let's go VP. Thank you, Paige. And Family Abrams saying, let's go Boland. Almost there. So thanks again, everybody, for your comments on YouTube. Thank you for supporting and watching as we give you some of the live stream this evening. Just over a minute to go. So Pens just mistrapping the ball, but they've got the ball now inside, just inside the circle. They're going to want to look for just a little bit of an outcome. Unfortunately, ball rolling over in the baseline.
Yeah, probably would have been a good time to win a penalty corner, the first one of the game, AJ.
Yeah, it would have been. And also, if you look at the time on the clock, there's about 40 seconds to go. It would have chunked out a lot of the time. There's a big ball inside the circle as we've got a chance now with Boland with an opportunity. Jade Regnault coming out, and good save there by Jade, and she's got numbers back as Pens seem to be getting numbers back, and real big, probably the most clear-cut opportunity for Boland throughout this whole game comes with 20 seconds to go, and think with probably the most appropriate finish towards this game. With 10 seconds to go, they're going to want to wind this clock down. But what an end to the game is. Time ticking away, and it's about a few seconds left, and that's the end of the game. And what an exciting finish there as Boland tried to get that one goal, but there will be a lot of players that will be sleeping very well tonight after a very intense game. So that's 0-0 there between Western Province Pens and Boland. Kurt, your final thoughts?
Probably if I had to choose a standout player, it would probably be Jay Regnart in the Pens goal, making loads of interventions. But for the two teams, suppose Boland would be a bit disappointed. Applied massive pressure in that last chukker, but just couldn't convert with all the PCs they had and scoring opportunities.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kurt. And everybody, thank you very much for joining us. And from Kurt Surfontein and myself, AJ Spearens, thank you for joining us. And bye for now.